Rich Dad Poor Dad Summary. There's a difference between being poor and being beggared. Broke is temporary. Poor is eternal. Plutocrat comes and goes, but if you have the education about how plutocrat works, you gain power over it and can begin erecting wealth. People's lives are ever controlled by two feelings: sweat and rapacity. So numerous people say, "Oh, I am not interested in plutocrat." Yet they work at a job for 8 hours a day. Allowing that a job makes you secure is lying to yourself. Intelligence solves problems and produces plutocrat. You must know the difference between an asset and a liability, and by means. An asset puts plutocrat in your fund. A liability takes plutocrat out of your fund. Ignorance, both in words and figures, is the foundation of fiscal struggle. Plutocrat frequently makes egregious or woeful mortal excrescencies, putting a limelight on what we do and know. Cash inflow tells the story of how a person handles plutocrat. Most people don't understand why they struggle financially because they don't understand cash inflow. The number one expenditure for most people is levies. Advanced inflows beget advanced levies. This is known as type creep. Further, plutocrat infrequently solves someone's plutocrat problems. The fear of being different prevents most people from seeking new ways to break their problems. A person can be largely educated, professionally successful, and financially illiterate. Numerous fiscal problems are caused by trying to keep up with the habits. Once you understand the difference between means and arrears, concentrate your sweats on buying income-generating means. The problem with simply working harder is that each of these three situations takes a lesser share of your increased sweats. You need to learn how to have your increased sweats profit you and your family directly. Wealth is a person's capability to survive so numerous number of days forward, or, if I stopped working moment, how long could I survive? The rich steal means. The poor only have charges. The middle class buy arrears they suppose are means. The rich focus on their asset columns while everyone differently focuses on their income statements. Fiscal struggle is frequently directly the result of people working all their lives for someone differently. The mistake in getting what you study is that too numerous people forget to mind their own business. They spend their lives minding someone additional's business and making that person rich. To come financially secure, a person needs to mind their own business. Fiscal struggle is frequently the result of people working all their lives for someone differently. The primary reason the majority of the poor and middle class are fiscally conservative, which means and go to take pitfalls, is that they've no fiscal foundation. One of the main reasons net worth is inaccurate is simply because, the moment you begin dealing your means, you're tested for any earnings. A new auto loses nearly 25% of the price you pay for it the moment you drive it off the lot. Keep charges low, reduce arrears, and diligently make a base of solid means. Kiyosaki says he owns business that don't bear his presence. However, it's not a business if I've to work there. It becomes my job. According to Kiyosaki, real means fall into the following orders: stocks, bonds, income-generating real estate, notes, IOUs, royalties from intellectual property similar as music, scripts, and patents. Anything differently that has value, produces income or appreciates, and has a ready request. For people who detest real estate, they shouldn't buy it. Kiyosaki generally holds real estate for lower than 7 times. Start minding your own business. Keep your day job, but start buying real means, not arrears. When Kiyosaki says mind your own business, he means structure and keeping your asset column strong. Once a bone goes into it, no way let it come out. The stylish thing about plutocrat is that it works 24 hours a day and can work for generations. An important distinction is that rich people buy luxuries last, while the poor and middle class tend to buy luxuries first. A true luxury is a price for investing in and developing a real asset. Kiyosaki's Rich Pater didn't see Robin Hood as an idol. He called Robin Hood a crook. Still, you give the power to your employer. If you work for money, however, you keep the power and control it, if plutocrat works for you. Each bone in my asset column was a great hand, working hard to make further workers and by the master a new Porsche. Kiyosaki reminds people that fiscal command is made up of knowledge from four broad areas of moxie: account, investing, understanding requests, the law. A pot earns, spends everything it can, and is tested on anything that's left. It's one of the biggest legal duty loopholes that the rich use. Garrett Sutton's books on pots give awful sapience into the power of particular pots. Frequently in the real world, it's not the smart who get ahead, but the bold. Kiyosaki sees one thing in common in all of us, himself included. We all have tremendous eventuality, and we all are blessed with gifts. Yet the one thing that holds all of us back is some degree of tone mistrustfulness. In Kiyosaki's particular experience, your fiscal genius requires both specialized lores as well as courage. Kiyosaki always encourages adult scholars to look at games as reflecting back to them what they know and what they need to learn. Games reflect jest. They're instant feedback systems. Fiscal intelligence is simply having further options. The single most important asset we all have is our mind, however. It can produce enormous wealth if it's trained well. The world is always handing you openings of a continuance every day of your life, but all too frequently we fail to see them. Richard uses two main vehicles to achieve fiscal growth: real estate and small cap stocks. Simple calculation and common sense are each you need to do well financially. The problem with secure investments is that they're frequently sanitized, that is, made so safe that the earnings are less. It isn't laying if you know what you're redoing. It's laying if you read just throwing plutocrat into a deal and soliciting. Most people no way get fat simply because they aren't trained financially to fate openings right in front of them. Great openings aren't seen with your eyes. They're seen with your mind. You want to know a little about a lot was Rich Pater's suggestion. JOB is an acronym for just over broke. Look down the road at what chops they want to acquire before choosing a specific profession and before getting trapped in the rat race. Education is more precious than plutocrat in the long run. The reason so numerous talented people are poor is because they concentrate on erecting a better hamburger and know little to nothing about business systems. The main operation chops demanded for success are: operation of cash inflow, operation of systems, operation of people. The most important technical chops are deals and marketing. To be truly rich, we need to be suitable to give as well as to admit. Giving plutocrat is the secret to utmost great fat families. The primary difference between a rich person and a poor person is how they manage fear. There are 5 main reasons why financially knowledgeable people may still not develop abundant asset columns that could produce a large cash inflow. The 5 reasons are: fear, cynicism, shiftlessness, bad habits, arrogance. For most people, the reason they do and win financially is because the pain of losing plutocrat is far lesser than the joy of being rich. Failure inspires winners. Failure defeats disasters. Real estate is an important investment tool for anyone seeking fiscal independence or freedom. A great property director is crucial to success in real estate. The most common form of shiftlessness is staying busy. Rich Dad believed that the words "I can't go it" shut down your brain. "How can I go it" opens up possibilities, excitement, and dreams. Whenever you find yourself avoiding commodity you know you should be doing, also the only thing to ask yourself is, what's in it for me? Be a little greedy. It's the stylish cure for shiftlessness. Richard has set up that numerous people use arrogance to try to hide their own ignorance. There's gold far and wide. Utmost people aren't trained to see it. To find million-bone deals of a continuance requires us to call on our fiscal genius. A reason or a purpose is a combination of wants and do and wants. Utmost people simply buy investments rather than first investing in learning about investing. Richard believes one of the hardest effects about wealth structure is to be true to yourself and to be willing to not go on with the crowd. The rich know that savings are only used to produce further plutocrat, not to pay bills. The sophisticated investor's first question is, how presto do I get my plutocrat back? Still, it's that idea, if Richard could leave one single idea with you. Whenever you feel short or in need of commodity, give what you want first and it'll come back in pails. In the world of account, there are 3 different types of income. Ordinary earned. Portfolio. Passive.